Hello there. Here we are. We're going to make some Wonder Bread because we've got the recipe online for the place in Hollywood, a restaurant called Love. So we're going to put this together and I'll give you the recipe as we go. So you'll have to watch the video, as hard as it may be. Take the time. It doesn't take long to make this bread. I did spend a little time grinding some golden flax. I wanted to grind it up this time because last time I used it whole and it was delightful. But I wanted to make sure I was getting some pieces. So I've got 6 cups of golden flaxseed, freshly ground, because it won't keep long. 3 or 4 days, the omega-3s will start deteriorating, oxidizing. And then I've got about 8 cups of water, more if I need it. So I just put it onto the flax and I start mixing. Right now I'm using a little shovel. Reminds me of the garden. Similar to a garden shovel, but I think it's for coring apples. And this golden flaxseed is kind of like the bread. This is the base. This is the doughy dough part that you're going to start off with. And it's instant as soon as you add that water and start mixing. It starts looking like dough, like I'm baking cookies. It gets thicker and thicker, and I can do this for however long it takes to mix it thoroughly. And then I'm going to have to measure something. I'll get my measuring spoon. Or measuring cup. I'm going to use 6 cups of this pulp. Technically, I could kind of like measure it out. It looks like a little more than 6. So I'm just going to pack it all in here. And this is the pulp that's left over from making carrot juice. It's totally dry. It went through an omega single auger press type juicer. And I always have a lot of carrot pulp because I love carrot juice, especially when it's mixed with other things like celery, Napa cabbage. So now I've got 50-50, and I'm going to use my hands, and I'm going to get messy here. So the next thing I'm going to add are these nuts. Now I've got 2 cups of soaked sunflower seed. I ground it up into a meal, and I left some intact for the texture. But this time I'm really going for a smooth bread, like a smooth carrot bread. 2 cups of pumpkin seeds, and I really coarsely chopped these because I like the texture after they've been soaked now. They got chopped up and now they'll get dehydrated at a low temperature, and then they get nice and crisp. And I like crispy. So I'm going to put all of those seeds in there. And then I'm going to mash it up a little bit and try to blend it a little. Mix it together. Just like kneading dough. This is bread. This is what I eat as bread, and I think it's good for sandwiches. And if I leave large squares, it's good for wraps. Wrap sandwiches where it's just like a roll up, a big sushi roll. And this, with your seeds and your pulp in here, and some flax seeds, it makes a lot of bread. A good week's worth for a family of 4 or 5. If everybody were eating it. So, mashing and squishing. And twisting and turning and getting this all in there together. So the consistency is right, as mixed as it can get. This is awesome bread too. It's soft, somewhat fluffy. It holds together. It's gluten-free. The flax seeds are a good source of omega-3s. The pumpkin seeds are a good source of tryptophan. Tryptophan helps you to produce some of your hormones. One of them happens to be melatonin, helps you sleep. And then your body will also use tryptophan to produce serotonin. Tryptophan is a fatty acid that can be converted into other fatty acid type hormones in the body. I believe DHEA is a distant cousin, I'm sure. The liver can synthesize a lot of things out of just one ingredient, and tryptophan is one of those ingredients. So is omega-3 fatty acids. So fatty acids are definitely important. And now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. I've got 2 cups of olive oil. I've got 1 cup of coconut sugar, which was actually not on the recipe. I'm changing this to try to get carrot bread out of it. And I'm going to have to wash my hands after mixing these 2 ingredients up, because then I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of salt, which I've measured on this plate. And this is Celtic sea salt. I've usually buy the larger coarse type because it costs less, and you can take the time to process it yourself by putting it into a coffee grinder that's been really well cleaned out. Or you can put it into your dry grains blender, or a good blender that does propel it enough to get ground into a powder. Now this is way easier to mix. I just like mixing it. So I've got it really well mixed. And it looks like we just need some herbs. And I'm going to try to go for some strong flavor. And 4 tablespoons of salt. I'll go with 4 tablespoons of cinnamon. Why not? I'm taking a guess here on how much. And this is cinnamon I get from the shop, and I reuse all my containers. I've had some of my containers from before becoming vegan. I've had some of these containers, like I've got an old raisin, Minute Maid raisin box, and it's kind of like a collection of what I'm not eating anymore. The raisin box now has currants in there that are organic, and such a better choice than the regular, but at the same time, as long as they're organic, regular raisins do great. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of vanilla. See what happens. This is also organic extract, and it smells great. And I was thinking of just a dash of star anise. So now we've got to mix it again, and I'll put it out onto the dehydrator sheets. Smells great. Vanilla always smells good. It doesn't smell like carrot cake. Maybe it smells like carrot cake a little bit. The carrots are great. They have alpha carotene, which is the wonderful carotene that fights cancer. Long fabled to be hard to get from a supplement. So that's why beta carotene is really not recommended anymore as much as it used to be. There are certain cases where it works, but then when you have all of the carotenes in one place from a food source, something like carrot juice, it's more complete of a food. You're treating the whole body and you're eating the whole herb. I'll be right back with those sheets. The dehydrator is a great place to experiment. Things like yam syrup. Nathan decided to dehydrate. finish making the bread, it is really stuck together. So now I just plop it down onto the dehydrator sheet and square it off at the edges. Little military corners in there. And this looks like it's going to be a very fluffy bread. I can make a pizza out of this. After grinding the seeds, and see now there's no real bake time. There's just a 5-hour period of time that you must dehydrate them, minimum, to get it to a consistency like bread. And then that's just the top. You can use it like that though. Use it to make a pizza. This is a lot stickier than it was before. These, I think I'm going to make the rest of them into burger buns. Like round bagel kind of things. Because I don't know if you can see how sticky this is. It's sticky. And there you go. There's one out of the 5 trays that this will make. This will make 5 trays. Yummy. Smells like carrot bread. Well, there you have it. A nice meal. A nice, easy way to prepare a bunch of bread. Some ideas on what to do with it. And enjoy. Thanks for watching.